16 degrees in Logan, Utah tonight, but they're staying warm with hot chocolate. Only fitting as the race for first in the Mountain West starts to heat up. Two teams knocking on the door, meeting tonight. Utah State playing host to Colorado State, with New Mexico leading the charge. With that, we bring you here courtside inside D. Glenn Smith Spectrum, joined by the former Arizona Wildcat, Matt Muehlbach.
What's up, my man?
Meskel here with you. Matt, about a month from now, it's conference tourney time. The pressure's starting to build.
Yeah, conference tourney, and then the NCAA tourney where it really builds. And right now, this Utah State team is in the NCAA tournament. Colorado State not in, outside looking in, but a win tonight could do big things for them.
There's no doubt about that. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for these two teams. First meeting of the year for Colorado State. All eyes on Nick Clifford, NBA scouts in the building tonight. He is a next-level prospect, and then some for Utah State. They've been anchored by the exceptional play of Ian Martinez.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. They have a very experienced old team, a lot of guards. They're going to push pace, a ton of pace in a great building with great fans.
Excellent crowd here for first-year head coach Jared Calhoun. They can change the staff, but they keep on winning. Calhoun, just the latest coach, fourth in the last 5 years. He had to rebuild part of the roster, was able to re-recruit some of the key guys like Martinez and Mason Falslev, and they've gotten off to a tremendous start.
Yeah, that's one of the things he did, was embrace the history, the tradition, what the coaches before here have done, and they've done such a great job. And like you said, he kept the core and then brought some great new players.
And for Colorado State, Nico Medved in his 7th season. This is a team that is consistently on the NCAA tourney radar. As you said, they want to be in that conversation. He said this year there's a little bit of a benefit for his guys. People aren't looking at them as the top team in the Mountain West. They can play a little freer without that scrutiny. Yeah,
they've had a chance to kind of work their way into this season after losing so many good players last year, 5 seniors that could really score it. They've become a better defensive team, even though Nico Medved known for his offensive efficiency.
For those who have been watching CONCACAF Champions Cup soccer here on FS2, it's continuing on the Fox Sports app and will return shortly once basketball moves to FS1. Our officials in this one: Earl, Walton, Brian McNutt, Steve McJunkins. Mountain West after dark. Let's go. It'll be the Aggies to start things off. Utah State in a 21-3 on the year. 11-2 in league play. Falslev able to keep his dribble.
Greg, we talked to Coach Calhoun before this game. He said the key to the game for them, spacing. And right there on the first possession, tremendous spacing and a tremendous shot by Martinez.
Ian Martinez, they say he's got no conscience, can make all the shots. Here's the pick. Falslev to the bucket. Count it. They'll call a goaltend. It went in anyway. And this is what Colorado State didn't want. This crowd is at a fever pitch.
Yeah, I can barely, this is true, I can barely hear anything you're saying. The students right behind us right now, and that's what Coach Medved said. He said, look, when you're on the road, it's crowd control, meaning control the crowd by not turning it over. You know, this is not like a rock concert where you got to keep them down. You can't have them running free, the crowd that is. And that was Falslev running free off the steal.
Little full court press look there from Utah State. That falls away, and now we'll see Colorado State and an unforced error. Clifford turns it over. Here's a look at the all-time meetings between these two. 107th meeting. Last time they got together last February, that was a win in Fort Collins. They split last season.
Now this is the end right here. Colorado State has been better this year. They go under the screen right there. And right away,
bounce.
Utah State is firing at home.
An 8-0 run. Dayton Albury gets the roll from the outside, then a backcourt foul on Falslev.
No, you wonder sometimes, a late game, you know, a Tuesday night, that's what students like this love. That's what the players love. The older people, right? They want the early games. The students love this late night action. Players don't go to bed till 1 in the morning.
You saw them lined up outside happily in their coats. 16-degree weather. Here's Bemba, draws a crowd. Timer to 15 for Kyan Evans. Clifford splits the defense. No bucket foul on the floor.
I think one of the great matchups in this game is the Utah State matchup zone against Colorado State. How does Colorado State attack this Utah State zone? And when you think about it, in the Mountain West, no one really runs a zone. It's really almost 100% man-to-man. Utah State, the one team that runs it, so Colorado State doesn't face it very often.
Let's see how they adjust to it. Trying to move that basketball, pass through the zone. Bemba bullies his way down low and powers it home.
Well, one way to get against the matchup zone, somehow get it to the middle of the lane there. The high post right there at the free throw line, they got it kind of mid-post right there. That's a perfect spot to wheel and deal.
Good dish down low. Powering up, powering in. Aubin Gateretse and one.
Well, what's so impressive to me, really with both teams, is the way they pass the ball. And that's a great just and one through contact right there. Had 4 guys on him by the time he got it. But you saw the pass from Utah State there. One of the best in the nation at assists per field goals made.
Gateretse, the transfer from Stetson, year 1 here with Utah State. We'd like to welcome those of you watching the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show from Madison Square Garden. It's Utah State, Colorado State. Matt Muehlbach, Greg Meskel here with you from Logan. Good start for the Aggies. An 8-0 beginning. They lead now 11-2. Colorado State winners of 5 of their last 6 into this one at 15-8 overall, 9-6 in league play. Clifford driving baseline, powers up and draws a foul. He went for the poster jam.
Yeah, we almost had one of the great highlights of the entire day right there by Nick Clifford. Now, this is, I think in my mind, Nick Clifford is the best player in the Mountain West right there. You saw it right there on display, able to go baseline, rise above the defender. You mentioned, Greg, earlier when we started this telecast, a number of NBA scouts, they're here to see this young man.
And we'll say so long to our soccer fans. And continue watching over on FS2. As Utah State goes to their bench, Drake Allen comes on, the Utah Valley transfer. Here's Clifford, 73% from the free throw line. And able to bury that one, 11-4. So Colorado State now, Matt, trying to just weather this wave here.
Yeah, and essentially, like you said, just contain a little bit the momentum that Utah State has. They are playing off the fans and good offense right now. They've been terrific. Look at the spacing. Again, something we talked about at the beginning of this broadcast, and you can see the spacing that they have. Terrific offensive spacing and sharing the ball.
Akano, they are heating up from the outside. Dexter Akano drills it. They're perfect. 5 for 5 shooting the basketball.
And the crazy thing about Utah State, they haven't shot it as well as they can this year. They can shoot it a lot better. We're seeing that a little bit tonight. If they get hot from outside, from the three-point distance, they literally will be one of the top offenses in the country.
Clifford left free, buries it from the outside, and they'll try to activate Nick Clifford here. He is essential to what they do.
Nick Clifford, what makes him special, the versatility in just about every part of the game. We saw it on that play where he almost dunked it, got to the rim, rose above, got to the foul line. That time, a nice little set on the three-point shot.
Has had to step up and be the guy. Isaiah Stevens moving on to the next level. Allen nearly stripped. Timer to 6 here for the Aggies. Allen goes to work, hook shot, difficult, and the rebound there to Bemba. And that's the first miss for Utah State from the field. Working to Bemba. They come from behind, the strip, the takeaway. And now Falslev can lead the break here for Utah State.
Another live ball steal, at least that one for Colorado State was toward the baseline.
3-ball, buries it. Akano, his second.
It's mayhem right here in the D. Glenn Smith spectrum. It is going nuts.
Timeout on the floor. Aggies couldn't have scripted a better start. burying the deep ball. We're back after this. Utah State coming off a win over Fresno State, and Ian Martinez took over 30 points in the victory.
Yeah, he's a high-volume shooter. He gets to the line. He can shoot it literally from everywhere on the court. Outside, he has that mid-range game. He's a terrific athlete. He can get up and dunk. In fact, we talked about it earlier today. He has 13 dunks on the year. He's only 6'3", incredibly athletic and explosive.
Jared Calhoun ran off all the shots you could possibly take in basketball. Three-point shot, layup, right. Free throw. He can do everything. The dunk. He's all over the court, and he has really embraced this scoring role. Remember, a lot of their offense moved on. Danny Sprinkle, the coach last year, he moved on to University of Washington. Some of their big scorers like Great Osibor moved on as well. Where did that offense come from? Martinez, one of those guys.
Yeah, great point. He's a fifth-year guy, been around a long time, so the experience really showing out.
Clifford, trouble there, a takeaway. Tried to find Keyshawn Williams in the corner.
Almost looked like a double dribble there, not called.
Yeah, Allen got stuck on his hip there, fortunate. Tucker Anderson has come on. Now they go inside Templin. Tucker Anderson, the transfer from Central Arkansas. A lot of excitement around what he can bring.
He's got the size. He's young, but he can shoot the heck out of it. His numbers don't look great this year, but he shot it really well at Central Arkansas. Career high made 6 3-pointers in one game last year.
Falslev, left free. They are unconscious right now from downtown. 5 for 5 from beyond the arc.
Speaking of shooting it, well, gosh. I mean, Falslev, a very good shooter, has turned into an even better shooter this year. He's a guy that kind of does everything. Look, another turnover killing Colorado State right now.
Allen, drive and kick. Falslev loaded up again. You know it. Timeout, Colorado State. It's a 9-0 run for the Aggies. They shoot it pretty good. They're third in the Mountain West in three-point percentage. This is next level.
Well, that was a great screen to get Falslev open just by a bit. Here's the second one on that turnover. And again, it starts with a turnover. You see the spacing. When you have that kind of spacing off a turnover, you just can't cover guys everywhere on the court. Now, you still got to make them. You can't go 6 for 6 all the time just in shoot around. So give them credit for knocking down the shots.
This is a tough place to win. The crowd, electric, even for a 9 p.m. start. You see the record there. They literally run to their seats the minute the doors open here. The student section is as good as it gets.
It's as good as it gets. I've played in some of the best in college basketball. Cameron indoor, probably my #1 on my list. In the top 10 for sure is right here. And because of the students, also New Mexico, also in this conference. This conference sports some of the great home crowds in America.
So for Colorado State, you have to be a bit stunned here. This has been a tough start, especially coming off of a win against San Diego State, a team that projects to be in the NCAA tourney.
Well, we talked about that on the open. Utah State right now in the NCAA tournament by any measure, by any of the predictors. Colorado State not. They're on the outside looking in, but they've got a decent resume. A win here on the road, a win against a top team like Utah State would put them right in the conversation.
This is what so often happens to the Mountain West late in the year. These great teams beat each other. It's so competitive.
Well, in this here, I think, Nick Clifford has been such an unselfish player. I think this is where Colorado State's got to start going to Nick, try to slow the game down a bit.
Tie up there, as that was Kyle Jorgensen trying to beat the shot clock from 3. We'll get a blocking foul against Colorado State on this end.
Yeah, I do want to mention again this Utah State zone. The matchup zone, Greg. Nobody plays this in the Mountain West. And remember, Colorado State on a short prep. They played Saturday. They had only 2 days to prep. That's not easy against a really tough zone.
Templin battling down low. Gets his own rebound. Puts it back.
Now they're getting contributions from everybody. When you bring someone in off the bench like Templin that can play 6'8", really can go.
It's an 11-0 run for Utah State. And Colorado State has turned the basketball over 5 times. They've only attempted 3 field goals because of all the turnovers. Clifford. That's a tough shot. But like you said, he could be the guy to bring them back. Falslove with the rebound.
Yeah, I'd like to see Clifford get maybe right about the free throw line, right in the middle of that zone, and then go one-on-one.
Templin, little floater. It's all working.
It's an offensive clinic. This is 101 basketball, how Jared Calhoun draws it up at the start of the season.
10 for 13 from the field to start. What an opening here for Utah State.
Hey, forget the tournament. Let's talk about second weekend of the tournament. The team playing this well. Now that's the biggest shot of the game for Colorado State.
Kyle Jorgensen, the true freshman from Minneapolis, they needed something. And he buries the three-pointer to try and slow this crowd down a bit.
His numbers are down right now from 3, but he can shoot it, and he's a big. And against that zone, you bring a stretch 5, that's going to be very valuable. Great shot by him.
Shot clock to 10 now. Falslove, a near bobble there on the exchange.
Travel.
Get away with the travel there. Templin, and he draws a foul into the basket. And Nico Medved understandably bothered.
Yeah, that was a travel right there. I'm not sure how they missed that, but you can see Templin right there just feeding off the energy. It's almost like he's one of the students that came out and decided to play with that guy. Look at him. He's looking right back at the students where they're sitting.
Templin good on the first. Carson Templin, the sophomore from Texas, has seen his minutes go way up. He was at about 7.5 minutes a game last year, now up to a little over 18. So an expanded role here for the sophomore. And rattles in the second. 29-10. Gadaretse comes on. Templin goes off to a big cheer.
Well, I remember doing a game here last year. Danny Sprinkle, what a great job he had done last year in just his first year. And then you see him leave and you're thinking, okay, they've got to take a step back, but my goodness, this has been impressive.
And Coach Calhoun even said it. This program has just built this consistency. They're just the latest stewards here, able to come in. Kick out, three-pointer, a wedgie. Keyshawn Williams gets that lodged in the corner of the basket, and that's just kind of indicative of how things have started here for the Rams. We're back after this timeout. Utah State's defense, a calling card this season. You see what they do in steals a game. Matt, they've been huge in forcing turnovers.
Yeah, and 3 things on defense. There's scheme, right? But then there's personnel as number 2. They have great personnel that have great hands. They really get after the ball. Look there, the anticipation. They have a lot of guards on the floor. And then really the third thing with steals, effort. And you just see the energy and effort that they bring from this crowd. And you know, it gets contagious too. You lead the conference in steals. Everybody knows it. They know that, hey, you get a steal, you go the other way, you're getting 2 points. It just gets contagious and everybody gets into it.
Colorado State now out of the timeout. Again, trying to break through this matchup zone from Utah State.
Yeah, they were running a zone offense against the matchup, and it looks like they may have just gone to a man offense right there.
Tie up, jump ball, the arrow in favor of Utah State. When you're in a situation like this and you're stunned and everything is working against you, how do you slow things down if you're Nico Medved?
Well, and that's what I think he did right there. Hey, let's just run our offense. Let's just run one play, not worry about anything else. We'll run a play out of the timeout, try to get some good cuts, some good screens, not worry about the score at all, and just try to get yourself back into it.
Jordy Barnes now has come on, and there's a travel.
I mean, there's the old announcer, we have to say you got to get it to 10, right?
Yep.
If you can get it to 10, you're right in this thing by halftime. But I think Nico understands, look, there's a long time to go in this game. Obviously tough on the road, but his team has been very good defensively. I think what's hurting them right now is their defensively this year. Their offense, to me, is hurting them. They haven't done anything on offense, and that's leading also to bad defense because Utah State's getting easy looks.
Good ball movement here, and the three-pointer off the mark, but that's a quality look. We'll stay on this end. That came from the first turnover by Utah State in this ball game. And now Colorado State will have it back on the reset.
To your point, Greg, I thought that was their best offensive possession of this first half, and see if they can build on that. I think this is going to be a lob play, little backdoor. They ran it pretty well right there, just not able to execute the pass. They cut right to that block. Nick Clifford set an awesome screen.
Colorado State coming in winners of 5 of their last 6. But they have run into a buzzsaw here to start tonight. Falslev gets free. He's been hot. Stays hot.
You see what Utah State does there. They run so many good actions off the ball, moving off the ball, screening off the ball. That screen right there led to the Falslev open jump shot.
They are 7 for 7 from beyond the arc. Lake. Good fight down low. Step through, and the easy 2 for Rashawn Bemba.
And what's one thing you can do against the zone? Offensive rebound. We saw it right there. That's one thing Colorado State can do. Can the offensive rebound try to get themselves back into it, get a little momentum on the offensive end?
Halfway through the first half. Fouled on a 3. This place was ready to explode had that gone down. Drake Allen launching from long range. Second look here.
Now this one was not off-ball movement. It was just ball screen right there, but a handoff and not a good enough job staying with Allen. You've got to trail Allen on that one because he's such a good shooter.
And here's Drake Allen, his first season here with Utah State. He's made the tour of the Utah colleges. Last year at Utah Valley. Previously at Southern Utah, he was the WAC all-newcomer team selection. And then was at Snow College for 2 seasons also here in the state of Utah.
Great player at Westlake High School. High school here in Utah. You know, they've done a great job keeping Utah players here at Utah State.
So goes 2 out of 3 after fouled on the triple. Here's Kyan Evans.
And we go back to those highlights on the steals. This matchup, look how far they extend the matchup. They really move out. That enables you to get steals. That's a moving screen.
Bemba booked for the moving screen there. That's their 8th turnover.
And I like that play right there by Coach Medved, because if you can get Bemba up high, set the screen, just treat it like it's man-to-man. Even though it is a matchup, you can get some 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s on the opposite side of the ball there.
Look there at the turnover numbers. That and Utah State's hot shooting, the major reasons why this has gone in favor of the Aggies thus far.
Now you can see here, classic 4 out, 1 in. Now they bring to the high post. They've got 5 out, none in. So look at the spacing here. Easy to move, easy to free flow as an offense.
Albury running out of time. Allen at the horn. And the rebound for Clifford.
If they hit that one, I might have walked off for the first half, got some popcorn. You would have had the rest of the half by yourself, Greg.
Foul from behind there in Gadaretse. That was the first missed free throw, by the way, for Utah State. The other one not counting because it was a foul. 34-12 they lead. This is all part of a 20-5 run over 6:49. So here's Calhoun. coming over from Youngstown State. Into Clifford, turns the corner, changing hands, and too strong.
It's a good move. They got the look they wanted if you're Colorado State.
Allen, Euro, looking for Templin, but he stumbled. And now they'll regroup.
I really love Utah State's bench as well, Greg. They come in, they've got firepower off the bench.
Allen down the lane, rejected, swatted. That was Crocker Johnson on the denial. Yeah, their bench does the job. They've outscored their opponents in 20 of 24 games when you talk about bench points. Evans runs into traffic. It'll stay here.
Now that was a nice look right there, but Anderson came down on the help, and that's what makes the matchup zone so good, is because they match up, but then when they drive, they do a great job helping off any penetration.
Crocker Johnson gets a lane, tries to hammer it, and he's fouled. Colorado State aiming to end a 2-minute scoring drought here, and Jalen Crocker Johnson a strong take.
Yeah, nice, just ball screen, roll off that ball screen right there. That was kind of an open side right there, so they got the look on the roll. And I think they're finding something, Greg, to me, off some of the screens. They're using their ball screens as a way to attack this matchup zone.
First free throw is good for the transfer from Arkansas Little Rock. His first year with Colorado State was the Ohio Valley Conference Freshman of the Year a season ago. Too strong there, and it's all Dexter Acano. Alberry, the handles to the basket, yes!
That was impressive.
Pretty stuff.
They talked about his athleticism, his downhill, when he gets going downhill, as good as anybody.
Lake left free. Not there. Those are the shots the Rams could really use here to try and cut into this deficit. Upstairs to Templin. Little jump hook. Too strong. Tried to anchor that pivot foot. And now on the move, Morton. Crocker Johnson. That'll be a block. Counted and one.
Pretty good position right there by Templin. Tough call right there, but it's been all Utah State so far. Templin, here was the play. Is a blocker charge? Like a charge to me, but Utah State loving it.
Saturday on Fox Primetime Hoops, two of the Big Ten's best go head-to-head at 7:30 Eastern. 11th-ranked Michigan State takes on Illinois. Look at the way the Aggies are shooting the basketball.
Yeah, 5 of 11 from 2. Not bad, but kind of pedestrian when you think about how they shoot it from 3, Greg. They need to get rid of the 2s, right? Just shoot it from behind the arc.
Just an epic start.
You know, it's interesting. They shoot on the year, 34%. They're 138th in the nation. But what's impressive to me, 29th in the nation in Ken Palm on offense. And the number that really jumps out, 6th in the nation, assists on field goals made. They share it so well, and you can just tell nobody is, there are no hero shots. They are looking for their teammates here.
We talked about the guys that have had to score more, but they do pride themselves on that team game. Swing here. As coming in, the big man, Isaac Johnson, could not convert there.
And they just bring dudes off the bench firing threes.
Lake. Crocker Johnson. Clifford able to corral that rebound. Crocker Johnson puts it home in traffic. Tough finish.
Yeah, again, Colorado State offensive rebounding. That's one way they can get back into it. I thought But Nick Clifford right there, pretty unselfish to get it to the big man for the hoop.
Alberry. McKenna right down the lane, tipped, and Clifford comes up with it. And Colorado State now put something together here. Good swing, Clifford left alone. Crocker Johnson wrestling for that basketball, but the Aggies come up with it.
Now that's a shot Clifford almost always makes these days, one that they needed. They're starting to get better shots, though. You can see offensively the Rams offense just starting to click a little bit. Next step now, making those shots that they're getting.
Luka Medved had talked about how they were so strong typically on offense in years past. This year they had to kind of find their offense a little bit, and then said once they figured that part out, they could really identify with their defense.
You know, and that's been the thing. Watching them against San Diego State Saturday, I thought it was their defense that really stood out to me. Gritty, tough, a lot like this Mountain West conference. This conference is a bear trying to navigate just home games, of course, but on the road, these crowds, and of course the talent from each team.
You talk to pretty much every coach in the league, they'll tell you there's no easy day. Even if you look at the standings and someone is at the bottom of the league, it's still not simple to go there. Johnson can't hit again.
I like his aggressiveness off the bench. Came in firing.
Yeah, working his way back in. He had been a starter earlier in the year, missed a couple of games. A foul here on the drive from Bowen Bourne.
Now, speaking of aggressive, Bourne gets to the line, and he just made that play right there. It was a close call, but when you're the aggressor on those plays, more often than not, you'll get the call. Great job by him, and he's an awesome free throw shooter.
Coming over from Northern Iowa, 4 seasons there. And hits the first. Thought perhaps he jinxed him.
I was thinking, when I said that, well, he's got great numbers. Also, 2-to-1 assist to turnover. The perfect guy you want coming off the bench.
And he's a guy that can score a lot more. At Northern Iowa, they asked him to do a lot more offensively. Look back at his junior season, he averaged almost 18 points per game. So
yeah,
can be that guy if they need it. Allen dealing with Clifford. Double team arrives. He's stripped. Evans with the takeaway. Nika Medved wanted a foul there, slowing down the break. Instead, a turnover. They push ahead. Here's Barnes. Allen tries to work the baseline.
Well, you can tell they really love posting Allen up.
Johnson, a variety of moves. He gets the hook to go.
The big man has skills, man. The downtown shot was not falling, so he took it inside the spin move. And that was a jump hook from about at least 10 feet.
And so for Utah State, even though they have the big lead, they had gone cold a little bit. That snapped a 3-minute scoring drought for the Aggies.
Yeah, Colorado State could have cut it to 14 on the last possession.
Layup and the foul. Give it to Morton on the take, the Purdue transfer. And that's a nice bucket.
Yeah, you go to Morton, not a big scorer this year, but the ultimate glue guy, the ultimate veteran on this team. Went to the national championship last year. Just did a one-on-one move. Got the ball at the top. And against a matchup like this, if you get it at the free throw line there, no matter who you are, you got to take it and go. So good recognition by him.
Too strong. As we're under 4 to play here in the first half.
The thing that stood out to me about Morton, too, he has good size, really good size, at least 6'7".
Utah State, they have led by as many as 23. Colorado State trying to chip away here.
Well, I don't want to be, over dramatic, but, you got 3:37. They're down 16. It feels like, can they get this to 10 or so, or does it go to 22? That's going to be the swing, maybe the key to the whole game.
Bourne, that helps. Bowen Bourne cashing from the outside and getting a little bit closer. Colorado State finding their footing here on the road. We'll step aside. Bowen-born King, a 12-2 run for Colorado State, buries the triple. The Northern Iowa transfer. Matt, you're always trying to find ways to ingratiate yourself to your new teammates. How about you make bobbleheads of all of your teammates? That's what Bowen did.
I mean, you talk about culture and a good, like you said, a good way to make yourself known. Look how good those are. Those are pretty nice right there. And I got to say, like, if you have a bobblehead of yourself, you've kind of made it.
Totally.
I mean, that's pretty much a metric for me. If you have one, like, you can tell everybody, yep, I've made it.
I was thinking of making one of you, but then Bowen had made them already. It would have seemed like I was copying.
Well, the thing I love, in addition to the bobbleheads, by the way, one of the greatest stories we've had all year on that. But Bourne comes in and makes plays.
Yeah,
and that's been huge for them. And you called it because of his prior career. He was a scorer.
Gadarezzi converting on the other end. So slows this run here by Colorado State. They've got it to within 15. Bourne again. Just rattles out. Bemba draws a foul, and free throws coming next for Rashawn Bemba.
Well, that was started though again by Bourne. It almost went in and out right there. It felt like it was gonna go, but doing that enables Bemba to get on the offensive glass. Now you get to the line, kind of slow the game down a little bit, and they can cut this thing to 13.
Off target there for the sophomore from Austria. He made some big free throws in that win over San Diego State.
Shoots 80%, and it shoots it well.
Jalen Crocker-Johnson will return. Rams showing a little pressure here from Bourne. Picking up Barnes full court. Falslev loads it up again. Continues to deliver.
Well, if you're going to go under on the screen right there, a guy that can shoot it that well. I love his form on his jump shot, too. It's about as good as you get.
Clifford right back.
NBA right there. That's why the NBA scouts are here, because that's a move not many guys, probably no one in this arena is going to make, not many in the country.
Falslev, meanwhile, 4 for 4 from distance. Under 2 to go. Driving now. That works also.
Falslev, I'm just going to say, one of the most underrated players in the country. And nobody knows about this kid, and he is dynamic, and that's what makes him great to me, not just the three-pointer. He is a mid-range specialist, and he's an assassin, as we've seen from long range.
16 points already. Evans.
Wow.
Long range there, well beyond the arc. The Falslev is scoring it dipped a bit. 4 single-digit efforts in the last 6 games. He's back on track here.
And this lead back up to 17. This is huge.
Heat check.
Oh.
They'll keep it alive. And that's a block.
Now here's the 3 that he hit, and if you're going to defend him, you just cannot go under the screen right there. And I think that was Evans that came under the screen. But this is, to me, I mean, you're falling away, hotly contested right there, hand in your face, and you knock that down on the move. That's what makes him, to me, very versatile scorer, one of the best I've seen all year.
Allen off the mark. That was a 1-and-1 foul on the floor. That was the 7th team foul on Colorado State. Aggies are over the limit. Under a minute to play here, first half. Clifford fading and hitting.
Well, the NBA move's starting to come out. We just saw one. Here's another one. See if Neek can get hot, and they're going to need him to get hot. He was quiet up until those last couple buckets.
Reps from the Jazz, the Cavs, the Kings in the house tonight to get a closer look at Neek Clifford. Falslev thought about it off the screen. Instead, Allen. coming up short. Shot clock is off. Last 15 seconds here in the first half.
Now this will be interesting what kind of play they run for Clifford. He's going to take the ball, probably get a high post screen, just go one-on-one.
Clifford, step back, 3 ball. And time expires on this first half. Utah State races out to an epic lead. Up by as many as 23. Colorado State working their way back. But it's been all Mason Falslev and the Aggies. We'll take a timeout. We'll come right back here to Logan. Take you through our first half stats and more. Aggies in front by 15. Utah State fired up after a first half where they shoot the lights out. 8 for 13 from long range. And they also turn a variety of Colorado State turnovers into 19 points. All part of their 15-point edge here at the break. Here's a look at the rest of the numbers, Matt. What else jumps out to you?
Well, obviously those 3-pointers, but I think the 9 turnovers that Colorado State had, that was number one, what they did not want to do. And then the direct correlation to that is the 19 points off turnovers. So the recipe for Colorado State to me is simple. Don't turn it over in the second half. But I think the second part, a lot of Nick Clifford, and can they get Nick or any other player down in the paint, down in the block? This matchup zone is hard to attack, and that was the only half they've had against it all year. There's no other matchup in the Mountain West. Do they have now a half under their belt to say, okay, we got a little, we can find the angles, and I think the angles are at the rim and in the paint, get to the free throw line.
Here's a guy that can play a factor, the big man, Rashawn Bemba. Can they get him involved down low? Colorado State right behind Utah State in the Mountain West standings as we are into the home stretch here of league play. Conference tourney coming up in March. We told you 3 teams projected to be in the NCAA tourney. Colorado State wants to make sure there's a 4th, and it's them, Clifford. Well, understandable, they get him involved right out of the gate, just off target.
Yeah, he had a good look right before halftime. I thought he was going to bury it. He had hit a couple. That was a nice look. That was a called play, I think, from halftime. They had a couple just sort of red herring passes that were getting him to offense and the shot to him.
Clifford 3 for 8 as Falslev comes up short. Evans playing well as of late, has been a bit quiet thus far. Swing that ball well. That 3 rattles out from Crocker Johnson. Alberry, the Euro double clutch.
He got fouled on that. They hit him right on the elbow.
Looked as if they just called a deflection, and it'll stay here with an inbound. Opening minute, second half.
Well, I do like how this game has been called. They're kind of letting them play so far.
Falslev draws a crowd and bump there.
And you see what Falslev there did to Lake. Put him in jail, as they said. Got him on his hip, right behind him, used his body and his strength. That was either going to be a bucket by Falslev or a foul.
Got involved with a bunch of defenders and just dragged that whole pack to the basket.
That's right.
Called. 16 first half points for Mason Falslev, the sophomore. This is one area, though, he has hit a little bit of a bump in the road. 54% from the free throw line. Typically a better free throw shooter.
Yeah, you wonder, some guys require movement, you know, and you see him in the first half. Obviously, he shoots it from 23 plus, no problem. And sometimes just standing there with no movement is tough for people.
They push it back to 16.
And again, that zone, they extend it so far. It's hard to get into anything offensively. Make you very uncomfortable on the offensive end. That's where they have to attack, right there.
They swing that ball well. That's, again, a good shot, just does not go down. So they're getting some good looks here with the ball movement. Falslove now spinning, hitting, and one!
Falslove. The bag is out. The tricks are many. Last year I referred to him as Kelly Trapuka, going way back to the 70s and 80s. He had the little curl on top, the spin move, gets to the lane, and the emotion after it. It's fun to watch.
That's a beautiful take. Converts a three-point play. Jared Calhoun says he's the toughest, most competitive guy he's coached. He's our engine. Compared him to another guy he coached way back when, Joe Mazzulla.
That's right, one of his best friends.
Meanwhile, on the other end, Jorgensen finishes with the stuff.
Well, good job by Colorado State. Right there, Utah State extended the zone, really a half-court press. And what do you do against that? You have to attack. You can't just try to get it over and be happy not to turn it over. And they did attack.
Martinez buries it. They haven't needed much from him. Had the foul trouble. Back in business.
I mean, that's their top scorer, right? He didn't do anything in the first half because of the foul trouble, and they were running away with it. Now they bring a fresh Martinez in. And let's see what he can do in the second half after knocking one in.
A whistle.
But a great job here. Watch the ball screen, and you see the help inside. They had to help right there, and then that leaves Martinez open. Try to close out. It was a good closeout, but just such good offense and spacing by the Aggies.
And if you're the Rams, what frustration, right? You're down 20, and Ian Martinez only has 6 points.
Yeah, it's, well, and you mentioned Joe Mazzulla. That's where Coach Calhoun got a lot of his offense from, was Joe Mazzulla. He credits Huggy Bear with a lot of the defense back in the days of Cincinnati and then West Virginia. Coach Huggins helped him a lot, but Joe Mazzulla, one of his best friends, really taught him a lot of concepts and offensive concept that he uses to this day.
Crocker Johnson fouled on the interior. That's the third on Templin.
I also asked Jared Calhoun, you know, what do you do for, I mean, what are the things he also worked with Coach Massimino, played for Rolly Massimino. I said, what'd you learn from him? He said, Italian food. Culture, pasta, bringing players over. It was all about culture and family. And he said that's one of the reasons I've been so successful, was learning that from Rolly Massimino.
Yeah, he talked about a reason why we're able to win early is that culture that they establish quickly with these family-type gatherings. Martinez trying to shed Clifford. Templin now ready to bang with Jorgensen. That works.
It's a perfect word right there. He's just going at him. I love him off the bench. His energy and physicality is huge.
Jorgensen.
Nice
Good
pass.
skip. Crocker Johnson left alone and drills it from the corner.
Right there, Nick Clifford could feel the defense. The gravity, as they say, was all over Clifford. They were looking for him, and then he saw that cross-court pass out of the back of his head. Really beautiful dish. And he leads this team in assists, which blows me away. He is an unbelievable passer for a guy that is known for his shooting and athleticism.
Foul there on the move through. 10 points, by the way, for Crocker Johnson. He is the first in the double figures for Colorado State.
And Nick Clifford has really upped his game this year, and he's, this is his 5th year in college. It's been fun to watch just how he's evolved as a player. Such a team player. He really looks for his teammates. Probably needs to be a little more selfish at times, to be honest.
Martinez buries the deep ball like he never left.
Boy, they just bring out weapons, don't they, Greg? I mean, it's just one weapon after another on this team offensively.
3 for 3 from deep for Ian Martinez, coming off that 30-point night. 57-36. Lake, he answers.
Yeah, great job by Lake. Just probed the defense. No one really came out on him. Solid 3-point shooter and let it fly.
And one of the top scorers on this team, the senior. But Utah State, pick your poison.
I know. I'm impressed with this Aggies bench. The bench comes in, they're physical, they're energetic, they can absolutely score. They're not just role players that come in and pass it, they get after it.
Their depth is what makes them so dangerous.
There it is.
Templin, the takeaway.
Templin's everywhere. Templin's going to end up with something here. You feel it.
Falslev. A rare miss there, side of the backboard. But then he comes right back with the steal, the tie-up, and now Allen. Allen against Crocker Johnson, takes the foul, and one! Timeout called, 61-39. They're surging. And they told us pregame, hey, it's a 9 p.m. start. Not sure we'll fill this place tonight. The energy has been as you'd expect here at the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum.
Yeah, we've used a bunch of words. I mean, electric keeps coming to mind for me. That last play there by Allen when he had the and one, the roof felt like it was coming off. I didn't even want to say anything. I just wanted to listen to how good it was. I was talking to Paul Molinari, the great chief of staff for Coach Calhoun, and he was saying, look, they've played in all these great places back east. They came from back east. In fact, Molinari was with Massimino way back in the day, and he said, this is no doubt a top 10 arena in the country, not just in the West Coast or Mountain West, but in the country.
Great look there at everyone who has packed their way in. Yeah, it's just rows of seats going straight up. There's not much obstruction. The crowd is right on top of the court. A foul there. They'll call a trip as Crocker Johnson goes down. Foul there on Falslev. That'll be the second foul on Falslev. Each team with just 4 team fouls right now.
You know, believe it or not, I'm going to throw this out. I mean, still, 22 points right here. We see this in the NBA all the time, not as much in college. But you can come back from this deficit if you play the right way and hit some threes. You got to hit a couple threes to really dig into that lead. But right now what we've seen is Colorado State, Lee Clifford, they've had some looks here in the second half. Not just they just haven't been able to make it.
It's funny, it's Utah State that has this great stat around coming back down at the half.
Yeah.
They're 8-1 when they trail at halftime. This is the complete reversal.
That's right.
Cruising at the break, building on that lead in the second half. But from a time standpoint, plenty of time for the Rams to work their way back. Here's Bourne.
I like Bourne's game. He really does a good job attacking. And that's what produces right there, an open three-pointer because of the Bourne attack. Again, I say it, bench players, a lot of times they'll come in, try not to make a mistake. Basketball is so much, especially these days, you will make a mistake if you don't attack.
Gallarezzi left all alone. Easy money.
I'll tell you one thing Utah State does really well. They play through contact. They are so good just passing the ball in that situation, finishing shots through contact.
Clifford draws a foul. Fans incredulous anytime there's a whistle here against the Aggies.
And I think part of it, Greg, is just the Mountain West. That's a reputation. It's been like that for a long time. It continues to be an older conference, a physical conference. It is, you better bring your lunch pail. It's it's one of the best conferences in America. And I kind of think it's a little bit like the Big 12. Probably not as good as the top end teams, but they play like that. Great home courts, great physicality.
Couple of threes now in a row. That's Keyshawn Williams knocking down the triple. Northern Illinois transfer. Yeah, it's funny, a large part of the country sometimes misses out on the Mountain West. Later start times. Again, Gallarezzi left all alone. He's had 2 wide open slams.
Well, that's just poor communication right there. on that pick and roll. There was the pick, there was the roll, and nobody went with the guy rolling right there. Easy dunk.
9 points for Gateretse.
And that's not like this Colorado State team. They've been playing defensively so much better than that this year.
Shot clock to 9. Bourne. Rejection there down low. Morton stuffed away by Anderson. Allen thought about it. Martinez will take it. Too strong. Right to Falslev. Upstairs. Hammer down. Gateretse.
Come on. This is... Gateretse leads this team now with 32 dunks. Had 31 coming in.
Update the dunk tracker.
He is the one guy that really plays above the rim for this team.
Clifford can't hit on the step back. Now 1 for 4 from 3, just 3 for 9, 9 points overall. Comes in averaging a little north of 17 a game.
I do love that the sports information director, Jaden Johnson for Utah State, has a dunk meter, has a dunk stat. I think, I've actually said we should have that as a real stat, that when you look at all the stats, we should have dunks in there as a stat.
I agree.
I think we should have dunks and charges as an official stat.
Shot clock to 2. But we have a timeout on the floor first. Utah State, the big man, Aubin, drops the hammer. Aubin Gateretse getting loose near the basket and knows what to do with it, man.
6'11", as we said, leads this team in dunks. The high flyer right there, he can take the U. He can get it himself, likes to go off 2 feet. Got some length. He's got to have a 7, I'm guessing 7'3" wingspan.
Sounds right. Martinez at the buzzer. That's off target. Here's Evans now. The shot clock was down to 2 before that timeout. Bourne. Clifford, good job with the offensive rebound. Can they make something happen here? Coming up on 11 minutes to go in this one. Colorado State's done a better job taking care of the basketball. They've toned down the turnovers in the second half.
And it's just been right here. Shots that they get looks at, they have not made. Evans makes that one. And that's maybe a little start of something.
The first points of the night for Kyan Evans. That was someone that Nika Medved talked about pregame, where he's really come on, said his growth from even November to now.
Yep.
So you can just feel it coming on, and he's really taking that next step. Martinez.
He's been patient tonight, too. I'd like to see him. He knocked the first one in. In a game like this, when you're down, I mean, you called heat check earlier. If I make one, it's heat check. Let's go.
Nate Clifford.
Okay. 2 possessions in a row, and you just felt like a little more energy out of that timeout.
And Utah State feeling it as well. They'll take a timeout. So 10:22 to play, second half. Colorado State starting to put something together here. We'll take a timeout. It's that time of year looking to tighten up your NCAA tourney resume. Here's what Utah State has done.
Yeah, and you look at that net 32, clearly in the NCAA tournament. What I really love, look at those key wins right there. Now we're going to move on here. NCAA projections, Utah State an 8 seed. I think that's about right. Mike DeCourcy has them there, but they had a stretch, a 10-day stretch, Greg, where they literally beat St. Mary's, San Diego State, and Nevada in 10 days, all 3 of those games on the road. I mean, that is an incredible. I'm not sure 10 or 15 teams in the country can do that.
Some super difficult places to win. St. Mary's, intimate setting. They play so well at home there in Moraga. As Albury good on the first free throw. Ian Martinez will go out. He's got 9 points. So an 18-point game here, halfway through the second half. Evans has another one from deep.
Well, Evans from Kansas City. I talked to him before the game. You know my Chiefs. He's also from KC. I said, was this a tough couple of days? He said it was. So a little bit of comeback there for him.
My condolences to both of you.
He said he's been hearing it from his teammates.
Albury hitting on one end and a whistle down this side. So Colorado State, they've started to find their stroke from distance. 6 for their last 8 from beyond the arc. If they can lean into that more and then really get some stops, the recipe here the rest of the way.
Well, their margin is starting to narrow for sure, but look, 9:39 to go, you're down 17. As I said, just you hit 2 or 3 threes, you're under 10. So you can tell offensively they're starting to feel it a little more.
Clifford now off the pick. Little confusion there between Evans and Lake. Neither guy went for it. Instead, it's Falslev. Tough angle there, could not finish. And then a bump as Jalen Lake tries to turn the corner.
You know, one of the things I said this earlier, Clifford, the thing that impresses me about him is his passing. He hasn't made the shots tonight that I think he normally makes. Makes more. He's become a really good three-point shooter, but his passing is pretty elite.
And Medved really lauded him for being a team guy, not making it about him, setting an example of how to play. And the passing comes with that.
I think right now he's I would have him in my second round of the NBA draft coming up. I know a long way to go and a lot of work to go on. He kind of reminds me of almost like a Kyle Kuzma. And I will say this, Christian Brown from Denver.
Sure.
And I do have to say that our producer, Allison Vihel, corrected me because I did call him Braun. And, if you're from the Denver area, anybody knows it is Brown. So, but I think he's like that, just a real 3-and-D tough guy, does a lot of good things.
Beautiful drive there from Acano.
Now talk about dishing it.
Evans. And Gadaretse clears the glass.
Well, they push, don't they? They just keep after you. I mean, they're up big. Now they pulled it out a little bit here, but they are attack mode all the time.
Love to keep that pace of play high. Falslev now. In the corner, Anderson. Gadaretse, big offensive rebound, and he's bumped. So even when Utah State misses from 3, they've been so good from beyond the arc for stretches of this ball game. Get the offensive rebound. Just all the things seem to bounce their way tonight.
Yeah, Gadaretse's been really active on that offensive glass and around the rim.
And they've been the aggressors, as you said. They're forcing Colorado State into tough positions.
Yeah, definitely been. They've imposed their will. Let's put it that way, right, tonight. And not an easy team to impose your will on Colorado State.
Barnes pulls it back out, and he'll go to work.
Great defense.
Fight for that basketball. Crocker Johnson comes up with it on the break here. Difficult try. A tie-up. Evans tries to feed Clifford. Body's on the floor. Clifford goes down and will stay down this end. Coach Medved, he wanted a foul called. Nothing doing. It'll be Colorado State basketball when we return to Logan after this. This Sunday, the Great American Race takes center stage as NASCAR's greatest drivers battle in the biggest race of the year, the Daytona 500, where champions become legends. Sunday at 2:30 Eastern, only on Fox. Mason Falslev quickly becoming a legend here in Logan, Utah.
He is. Local kid. He has, as they say in baseball pitchers, he's been dealing tonight.
A whistle there as Evans, that ball ended up trickling through to him, and he was able to put it up.
Well, you sort of feel like this is the run here if they're going to do it for Colorado State. 7:44 to go. You're going to have a timeout in the under 4. And these coaches like to look at a lot of these, 4-minute stretches as 4-minute wars, some of them call it. And this is going to be the 4 minutes. Can they get themselves back in it? Down 17, now 16. We'll see.
Yeah, if it's going to happen, just from a time standpoint, it has to start.
It has to start now. Yep.
Student section behind the basket with a variety of posters.
Some
and
good
signs.
stuff.
Some great stuff up there. Shrek, among other things.
Some players will tell you they don't notice that at all. And I think in some arenas you don't, because they're really kind of big. There's false left. Look at that, just going to the rim again. But I think in an arena like this, I would notice it. You really notice it. It's so close.
Yeah, they are right there. False left with his 5th 20-point game. Good follow from Crocker Johnson on the missed 3.
He's had some nice plays tonight. He's done a nice job inside. But they're going to need some shots to fall. They need some threes to fall, and obviously need to get stops on this end, which they've struggled. And this is where Utah State goes way wide. They really spread. Look at the spacing here.
Also takes some time. Shot clock to 8. Good block. Clifford denies that Acano try. 6:30 to play. Evans loads it up. Big bucket from 3. Kyan Evans.
Evans has been hot this second half, and that was all started by Morton right there. And Morton made that play as a passer. He was looking to pass, I think, from the moment he got it. He caught it right at the free throw line. He went, and I talked about dealing a minute ago. That was a deal. He dealt and then passed it right back out to Evans. And Evans has been shooting it really well the last 5 minutes. So a little bit of life from the Rams.
Evans, no points in the first half, 11 in the second half. And has been able to do it from beyond the arc, 3 for 5 from 3.
And he is their best three-point shooter by percentage, 40%. So getting it to the right guy, and let's see if that opens some things up for Nick Clifford.
That last play, though, that's classic zone breaker stuff, right? Flash in the key, get the ball in, redistribute, and someone should be open.
That's right, and the defense collapse, which is to some degree what you're supposed to do. Probably not off of Evans, though. Now Colorado State, a little pressure. Let's see how hard they go after this pressure, if it's just to make it difficult to take time off the clock, or it's kind of what it is.
More of a show than intense press.
Utah State, a very tough team to press. So many guards and playmakers.
Martinez gets in deep. The follow's there, skying above the rim. Gattaretsi.
He's had a big game.
Martinez draws such a crowd. Gattaretsi was left all alone.
Good point. You try to go block his shot.
Crocker Johnson. Morton, tough drive. Contact.
Well, he got fouled.
No call.
It looked like he got hacked on his arm and his elbow.
It's been a frustrating night for Nico Medved. I mean, there's a few plays that he was looking for whistles on.
Nice screen and roll. Look at that.
Crocker
textbook.
Johnson. No stopping that.
Yeah, that was textbook. Open side, ball screen, no help on the other side. Beautifully played.
Under 5.5 now. Trying to get this to single digits.
And they got it at 12 now. One stop and a 3, and they do, so.
Gattaretsi, they had to give a foul there. He was looking at another slam dunk.
Now here's that screen and roll, Greg, and this is just how you draw it up. It's an open side ball screen, so no one else on that side, no help comes, and that little pocket pass by Evans was textbook.
Here's Aubin Gadaretsi, 60% from the free throw line.
That was a good foul right there. 60% shooter, obviously would have dunked it. Rams hoping he will miss at least one here.
He's had a good night so far. 13 points, 5 boards, 4 assists. Drills the first.
I think he's one of the keys to this team because they don't have a ton of size down low. Some of the size they bring in off the bench. Templin comes in, Anderson comes in. He plays outside a bit, but it's really Gadaretsi that kind of locks down the paint.
They got Isaac Johnson, the 7-footer, but he's also on the perimeter.
That's right.
And as you suggested, goes 1 of 2. Nee Clifford now. Bemba goes to work.
And one-on-one, no help right here. It's all him.
The hook. Coming up short.
Gadaretsi again making a great play defensively.
They just never let Bemba get comfortable. Gadaretsi now, a bit far from home. They go roll. He goes hard to the basket and finishes with the left.
Yeah, one of his better games all season. He has really showed up tonight.
Clifford from the corner. Big answer.
Now they're just hanging around that 12-point number.
Nee Clifford now with 14 points.
They had to have that for sure. Seemed like it would be over.
(79-67) Utah State whistle called as we hit the under 4 timeout. Can the Rams make one more push? We'll find out when we come back. The Smokin' Player of the Game is sponsored by Old Trapper. What's your beef? Mason Falslev. 22 points, our player of the game. No surprise here, Matt.
No surprise. Like I said, baseball term he's dealing, or well, if he was a hitter, he'd be raking right now. But he's a darn good player. And you watch him live. I've seen him play a ton this year on TV, but when you watch him live, you really sense how good he is on all those different actions, how good he is on defense to steal the ball, how good he is getting open on those threes, and then his toughness to get to the rim and finish through contact.
Gadaretsi can't convert there.
That was huge.
Bourne from 3. They needed that. It's Falslev out of the pack. Three and a half to go. Martinez left free. That's a problem. All net.
Yeah, that's I'm not gonna call it the dagger yet, but that's a mini dagger for sure.
Evans, Bemba scoops it up. Can't finish. And then a backcourt foul. And free throws continue here. We're 1-1. That's the 4th on Kyan Evans.
You know what's interesting about Martinez? He can get his shot when he wants. He is not afraid, but he figures out angles, and he can get it at will. And here it is, shot clock going down. He goes right around that screen. Did not have a lot of room, even though the defender went under. And he shot that right in the hand of the defender. And it's great to have that if you're Utah State, to have a guy that can make shots at the end of the shot clock. I mean, how big is that? Tournament time, NCAA tournament time, so forth.
So many teams search for a guy like that.
And I feel like they've got 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Like Allen can do it. We know Falslev can do it. Martinez, 100%.
Free throws there for Allen. 84-67 now. Rams kept flirting with getting it to 10, single digits. Clifford. They snap that ball around the perimeter. 3 Aggies are there for the rebound. Falslev comes away with it. And with 2:45 left, it looks like the Rams might be out of time.
I think Falslev is 6'3", plays like he's 6'8".
Tries to go into Templin. The takeaway there, Morton. Evans on the run. Oh! Put it on him.
Wow.
Kyan Evans get up.
Wow. 6'2", 175. Postered that one right there. Great pass by Morton. I didn't think he'd have any chance of going for the dunk just because of the angle and where he caught it, but whew. It's your point guard.
We were talking music earlier, as Tenacious D might say, that's levitation, Holmes. Coming to life in this second half. We mentioned it earlier, Nico Medved praising the sophomore from KC, the former Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year, has started every game this year, was a bench guy a season ago, and just got better month over month. Unfortunately for them, with 2:27 left, it's going to need something special here for the Rams. And really, Utah State will have to be careless with the basketball as well.
Yeah, not only Colorado State would have to deuce, like you said, but Utah State would have to miss a bunch of free throws. And you don't see them turning it over because of all the guards they have.
Pressure here.
Like literally right now, they have 4 guards on the, and I'm not sure I would have taken that, but that was the old, okay, no, okay.
Yep, didn't need that 3, we'll take it. Dexter Acano.
Acano's had a nice season from Oregon State, transferring over.
Lake, he drills a 3 ball.
He can really shoot it too. They've really shot it well this second half.
Turnover here. In the corner, Clifford.
Oh,
he's blocked. Falslev, they call a foul. Falslev, furious.
Wow. I thought he got all ball there. The question is, did he get underneath him and get body under, and did he get his feet underneath Clifford?
That had to be where the foul transpired because it looked like a clean block in the air. Let's get a second
Here's that
look.
replay. You look here on the hand, all ball to me. And he did get under his legs a little bit.
He did.
You know, in the old saying, hands part of the ball, as long as the ball is in your hand, right? So, let's see. He hits his hand to me when it's pretty close. I would have said okay, but he got underneath him. Good call.
So Clifford good on the first 2 free throws.
And I said that kind of quietly around all these students around me. I didn't want any of them to hear that I said good call because I may have gotten tackled.
Someone might be streaming this game up there, so watch out.
They're going to come down after me.
Pressure again. Under 2 to play. Falslev into the front court. Navigates, steps through. Templin fighting. Rebound. Goes back up and is fouled.
If you're a college coach or a team, every team needs a guy like Carson Templin. 6'8", off the bench, full of energy, fights, battles, gritty. Look at that toughness right there. Whew.
He just has a non-stop engine.
Yep.
And he's doing this with 4 fouls, but keeps the aggression up. It's funny, too. He gets the rebound. They have a shot clock. They'll probably move that ball around, but is so amped up, kind of go right back up with it, but draws the foul.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's hard to turn that off.
Goes 1 of 2. Coming up on 90 seconds to play.
They have to make They have to make a three here.
Clifford, he does. They get it to 10 now. It's been a long journey to try and trim this to 10.
I've always felt with a minute to go, or right around a minute, if you're within 10, you have a chance. Not a great chance, but you got a chance. That's where they're at.
Well, they've accomplished that. Let's look at what's ahead for Colorado State. They've got New Mexico, and then San Jose State, San Diego State. Tough schedule here at Boise, and then actually that might have been Utah State. Correction. They'll go to New Mexico.
Well, the one thing with both these teams, they have so many opportunities for big wins, but you have opportunities to also get an L. So it's going to be tough down the stretch. I think right now this conference has 3 securely in the NCAA tournament. They could get more, but as you pointed out, Greg, it's tough because they keep playing each other.
Well, and this is the stretch that Utah State is in right now. Tonight they're playing the team right below them in the Mountain West standings, and then next they play the team above them at New Mexico on Sunday.
Well, I'm a big fan of the eye test, and just sitting here live watching Utah State, it would be I mean, this team is not only in the tournament, I think they could win some games. I think they'd be an exciting team to watch that could definitely make some runs, and they would scare some teams.
It's just so impressive how they keep doing it, where they have to kind of recreate these rosters and still find this success. A foul here. Talked about it. 4th different head coach in the last 5 years. If they can get to the NCAAs again this year, it'll be just the 2nd time a team has made it 3 years in a row with 3 different coaches. Last year they had to completely rebuild. Danny Sprinkle bringing in almost an entirely new roster. A couple of guys coming back this year for Coach Calhoun as Allen hits the first.
Well, that's part of the thing, right? A nod to the players that came back from this Aggies team.
But that was a big re-recruitment as well.
Yes.
You have to convince Martinez and Falslev to stay. They certainly have
absolutely.
Options. Second free throw, no good. Clifford just looking for some space, and he's fouled.
Good move by Clifford. Not that he had to sell it, he could feel the contact, and all he had to do was kind of run up through the contact, and he's going to get the call there. Not what you want to do if you're Utah State.
And that'll be all for Carson Templin. A spirited evening for Templin, leaves with 9 points, 3 for 6. From the field.
Definitely got the hustle award.
Also 4 rebounds. Clifford good on the first free throw.
I saw Clifford in the airport this year in Denver. I was doing a game right around Christmas time, ran into him. I'd covered him when he'd done some games in Colorado, before he transferred to Colorado State. Talked to him. He's a tremendous kid. What a nice kid. Just got a good head on his shoulders.
Second free throw is good. They've got it to single digits here, within 9, with 1:07 to play. And they'll foul. So they bring the pressure and then give the foul to Dayton Albury, a 68% free throw shooter.
Well, what did I say? If you're within 10 with a minute to go, they're a minute 9 right now, down 9. So key here for the Aggies, they just need to make free throws.
And credit Colorado State too. They really turned it around. Ball control, 9 first half turnovers. Big difference here in this second half, as they've been able to limit their turnovers just a couple. Albury no good on the first. But good on the second. Coming up on a minute to play. Clifford looking for space. Clifford turns the corner. takes the contact, draws the foul, and more free throws coming for Nick Clifford.
Well, again, Clifford does a nice job drawing that foul. I thought there was a lot of contact actually before the shot, and it almost felt like the call was part of what happened before. There was so much contact there. There's a lot of contact underneath. Tough call. Could have gone either way.
Clifford now 8 for 8 as he cuts it back to 9.
See, if I looked up and saw what's his name from The Office they had up there,
Dwight Schrute,
the picture of Dwight, that would make me laugh. I would not make a free throw if I saw Dwight.
Yeah, it'd be tough to focus. It's Dwight yelling. Eric Cartman's up there. There's a lot of people. Clifford good on both. An 8-point game.
So you're saying there's a chance. I mean, they need to take care of it and make free throws.
And they'll foul Albury again right as he gets across the timeline with 53.4 remaining.
And I like what Nico Medved is doing right here. He is really stretching the game out. He's looking for the steal right away. If he doesn't get it, he's telling his guys to foul. And they're trying to find the right guy. And with Albury, he's only a 68% shooter. He's missed a couple.
And he's short on the first one.
And that was kind of short-armed right there. You could see it.
And now a timeout. We'll try and ice the kicker here. With 53.4 seconds remaining. 90-82. Utah State leading. Colorado State will call for time. One more free throw coming.
Coaches have different techniques here when a guy has a free throw. Sometimes they come in, they don't even say anything to him. I remember Lute Olson, my coach, would come in and say, okay, Greg, you're going to hit this free throw. After we hit the free throw, then we're going to get into this defense.
We'll take a quick timeout, and we're back with free throws. A reminder, the importance of this matchup, the Mountain West standings, Utah State, Colorado State right there at the top of the league. New Mexico leading, everyone jockeying for position here with the conference tourney coming up in March. And again, what you do here in league play, that affects your net rankings, your overall ratings, all part of that resume you're trying to build, knowing that a couple of teams here, they want to snag some at-larges.
Yeah, these games mean so much, and as I said, probably more so right now for Colorado State, although even losing on the road to Utah State, who's a net right now, what was their net? We had them at
38.
39 right now, so even losing on the road, that's a quad one loss. I mean, but they're still in it here, so.
Second free throw for Albury. And that one is good.
Good job by Albury right there, really concentrating, because the first one was missed fairly off there and knocked that in.
He's the fifth Aggie in double figures. Lake skies for three, just rims out. But they'll say we'll stay right here.
Wow.
A foul against Utah State.
I think that was Morton that they fouled. He was going for the offensive board, hurt his shoulder.
And Morton slow to the floor, grabbing that left shoulder.
So he's boxing out right there. It looked like, oh, they got hooked on their arms right there. Their arms locked.
We're looking for a potential,
but you couldn't really
foul.
tell who initiated it.
So back on his feet now.
Was that Acano? It was Dexter Acano and Morton.
Officials will take a look.
Yeah, good move there. Because the angle we had, you couldn't really see who initiated the locking of the arms.
.2 remaining. Let's take a look at this.
Oh, perfect. Look at that angle by our camera crew. And yeah, you can see right there, it looks like Acano may have had the initiation there with the left arm.
I mean, well, then in the front angle, though, you see a similar grasp.
Yep.
From Morton.
I mean, there's a little of both from both guys. I have a feeling they... Actually, I'm not sure what they're going to do with that one. That's a tough one. I think they'll keep it, though. Maybe the easiest thing is just to keep the call on the court, maybe not enough to overturn anything.
Officials huddling here.
After review, the foul is upgraded to a flagrant one.
Oh, wow. That's surprising to me.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all. Let's see here. We had that great view, a couple great views we've had. Look at this. See, it looks like he released it. That's why I didn't see anything like a flagrant one. I mean, they're both jockeying for position.
So a flagrant official going to come over here to fill us in.
Yeah, they called that, Greg, a hook and hold because he held on. I'm not sure I saw the hold on right there.
Morton here taking the free throws and able to hit. And then the basketball to Colorado State. So that is a critical call at this juncture. Hook and hold, an upgrade to the flagrant free throws and the basketball with 42.2 remaining.
I mean, this thing is definitely changing the shot. Anything here now, you know, they were looking at threes. A 2 works for Colorado State.
Into Clifford, goes up, cannot convert, and a whistle. They got it to the guy they wanted to have it.
Yeah, and he definitely had a size advantage.
Tried to go right back up quickly.
I actually love that call out of bounds. If you have a guy that just is bigger than someone else, just lob it in. He's got basically a 5'6" footer.
And now Ian Martinez, his first trip to the line tonight. To try to build back a little cushion here for Utah State. First one is good.
I give Colorado State a lot of credit for fighting right here in this second half, especially the last 6-7 minutes.
And they've outscored Utah State in this second half to climb back into this game. Martinez hits the second, but a 23-point deficit in the first half, that's just so large. It takes a lot of energy to come back.
And that was just such a massive swing. They could have cut it to 5, now back to 9.
Evans, air ball. Clifford can't save it, and that should put a bow on this one. Fans are letting them hear it here inside the D. Glenn Spectrum.
This crowd is as loud at the first minute of the game and with 24 seconds left part of the game.
Sustained energy from the Aggie faithful. We'll get a timeout called. 24.4 seconds remaining. Again, credit Colorado State. Made a strong push to get back into this ball game. Kyan Evans, 13 points, all in the second half. Nick Clifford now with 24, a double-double, 24 points, 15 rebounds. Tried to will his team back into this. Got creative going to the free throw line, trying to draw contact. Again, we just hit on it though. Such a large deficit. Utah State's so hot early. That is very, very hard to come back from.
Yeah, you just have no margin for error. Have to almost hit every shot. And they cut it, to 7 right there and had a shot to cut it to 5. So I can give Colorado State a ton of credit for what they did in terms of their toughness. Obviously, this game right now lost, assuming they lose, in the first really 5-10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, Utah State shot the basketball as good as you possibly could. Surged out to that 8-0 run. Started 7 for 7 from beyond the arc. These are hard things to combat. Plus, Colorado State turns the basketball over at a rapid pace, something they don't typically do. All these things conspired against the Rams.
Yeah, the game plan was not followed by their team, but again, part of that, Utah State. I mean, they just played well too. Everybody gets open shots now, and then you can't expect somebody to just hit every shot they take the first 5 minutes.
Shot clock is off, 24.4 seconds remaining. False lev to inbound. Acano, they'll advance into the front court, and now they'll give the foul here with 18.1 seconds remaining. And here's Dayton Albury once again, the transfer from Queens out of Charlotte. He's a big scorer for them last year, back rim. Utah State with 5 in double figures. False lev 22. Second one rattles out to lead that charge. Here's Clifford. Clifford to the basket, blocked from behind. And then deflected out of bounds with 8.9.
And that'll do it, but awesome game by Utah State. They've been very impressive to me. They are an NCAA tournament team. Not only that, but a team that can win a couple games or more in this tournament, in that tournament.
Final seconds here. Evans fouled with 2.4 seconds remaining. This Utah State team came in averaging around 81 points per game, up to 93 here. Just backed by stellar shooting. Almost 60% from the field, more than 50% from three. Those are a coach's dream.
Those are huge numbers, and as I said earlier, they hadn't been shooting it from three in what they're capable of. And talking to Coach Calhoun, he said, if we can start really shooting and really making shots, which they did tonight, this team can beat just about anybody. They are talented, and they play well together.
And that's all for this one. Utah State defeats Colorado State 93-85. Well, Matt, we talked about it at the top. It's resume building time here with March on the way. And for Utah State, a statement victory here over Colorado State.
Yeah, big statement. This is a fantastic place, first of all, to be, Greg. It's such a fun time to be here. The D. Glenn Smith Spectrum is electric. They lived up to it. The team lived up to it. Utah State NCAA tournament team made that statement. I still think a lot left from this Colorado State team, though. A lot that they can work toward and have a chance at it.
5 in double figures for Utah State, 22 for false lev leads the way. Nick Clifford with 24 for Colorado State. For Matt Muehlbeck, our producer Allison Hill, our director Jason Moon, I'm Greg Meskel saying good night from Logan, Utah, where the Aggies win it 93-85. Catch more Mountain West hoops tomorrow night on FS1 as Wyoming takes on New Mexico in Albuquerque. Thanks for watching Mountain West basketball on Fox Sports 1. Good night, everyone.